they'll make it work.
Yeah. Danny, did Danny stripe on Doctor Strange?
Uh, we had to, yes,
Yeah.
because of COVID.
Oh, okay, yeah, of course. But in the
Uh,
past, he's done it too. But he tends to think of the strings as the engine, and he'll work the articulations and he'll work the techniques with the strings to get them, because a lot of times, in fact, 99 out of 100 times, the articulations and the strings and the dynamics are not the way he wants it. He doesn't look at the music beforehand, and so he takes the session to really fine tune the details of the section. So he gets the engine happening, and it was everybody sitting there at the same time at Doctor Strange,
uh,
with the brass.
no,
Not,
well,
not even just the strings were there.
at the sessions, well, the sessions were in London and
Mm.
were all done. Danny and Steve went to Disney to monitor. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
gotcha.
Danny posted a picture after the first episode, first session, and so they weren't even there. They couldn't go there, and because of COVID, I believe. I don't know if Danny would stripe this way or not, but it was all separate sessions, and the choir was actually recorded here in L.A.
Interesting.
Yeah,
But that was his, when I was doing music prep for him, that was his MO. He would work the strings and then he'd go on to woodwinds. He'd work strings and harp together. And I guess it just depends upon the situation. COVID was the restriction in this case, but it depends from project to project. What I experienced when I was working with him on, say, Alice in Wonderland or Great and Powerful Oz, he would do the strings first with the harps, and then he would do the brass. He'd play everything first together to make sure that the chart ran down fine, which gave a great energy to the room. And then like I said, he'd go through each section bit by bit, and then at the very end of the recording session, say, he would go through all the big ones, hit those first, and at the end of the recording session, then he would just kind of pick and choose, nibble away at all the little cues and just run through them without striping, just to get through them. And it was funny. We're sitting at the session, we're like, he's got 10, 12 minutes of music to record, and we're thinking there's no way he's going to get this done at the same pace he's been going. But they just burned through several cues all at once and without striping.
that's interesting because I also worked on Spider-Man 3, which was Chris
Oh
Young,
yeah.
but it was Sam Raimi as the director. And
Hmm.
you said you were on Oz the Great and Powerful,
Yeah,
which
well,
was also Sam Raimi.
I was also at the recording session on Spider-Man 2 when the shit went down.
Oh,
But then yeah, I was with him again. Then on Oz the Great and Powerful, Sam and Danny had worked through whatever rift they had
right.
from Spider-Man 2.
Well, I was just going to say on Spider-Man 3, we striped everything. And I didn't know if that was at that point got Sam used to striping
Mm.
because I don't think he was before that, but the dub wanted everything striped. And we did it like what you're talking about with everyone. That was, of course, long before COVID and over at Sony. So everyone was in the room, and then we did each section to record. And I didn't know if part of this was because that's the way Sam likes to work now because of Spider-Man 3 or what. But I mean, I know a lot of it was COVID restriction. We only had, because the musicians were all far apart from each other.
Hmm.
So they couldn't put everybody in the room. It was just
Yeah,
impossible.
yeah. And even with Sony, it's a big space. But yeah, I can see how that's tough to spread them all out.
I imagine that as striping has become more common over the past couple decades, sound mixers are probably used to having the flexibility of being able to control individual elements that you don't get from having the entire orchestra
Right.
together.
Hmm.
Yeah.